This is Albania's hidden paradise, Sazan Island. Today we will discover the history, natural beauties and unknown secrets of this mysterious island. At the confluence of the Ionian Sea and the Adriatic Sea, this island fascinates with its untouched nature and turquoise waters. The young man was hunting in the mountains. At that moment, an eagle flying overhead landed on the top of a cliff. The wide-winged eagle held a snake in its beak. After a while, the eagle flew away from the cliff where its nest was located. The young man climbed up to the top of the cliff where he had seen the eagle. In the nest, an eaglet was playing with the dead snake. However, the snake was not entirely dead yet. Suddenly it moved, bared its fangs, and tried to bite the eaglet with its deadly venom. The young man quickly grabbed his bow and killed the snake with an arrow. Then he took the eaglet and set off towards his home. Suddenly he heard the flapping of wings above him. "Why are you taking my chick?" cried the eagle. "It now belongs to me because I saved it from the snake you failed to kill," replied the young man. "Give me back my chick. In return, I will reward you with the sharpness of my eyes and the strength of my wings. You will become invincible and be called by my name," said the eagle. Thus, the young man returned the eaglet. Once the eaglet grew up, it always flew above the now adult man, who, with his bow and arrows, hunted many wild animals in the forest, and, with his sword, defeated many enemies of his country. Throughout all his heroic deeds, the eagle loyally guarded and guided him. The extraordinary feature of this eagle was that it had two heads. In the end, the people, impressed by the brave hunter's deeds, chose him as their king and named him Shqipetar, which means son of the eagle in Albanian. His kingdom came to be known as Shqiperia, or the land of the eagles, Albania. The source of the double-headed eagle on their flag originates from this story. The island, approximately 5 kilometers long and 2.5 kilometers wide, truly captivates with its subtropical climate. Unlike the Mediterranean climate, its weather is more similar to that of Tunisia. For this reason, it enjoys mild weather even in the winter. Thanks to the climate, the island is lush and green, with a large portion declared as Parku Kombëtar Detar in Albanian, meaning National Marine Park. The park extends 16 kilometers along the Karaburun Peninsula, all the way to Vlora. In ancient times, the island was referred to as Sazan in the writings of Polybius. Over the centuries, it passed from the Romans to the Byzantines, and in the 1400s, it was conquered by the Ottoman Empire. However, in 1696, the Venetians reclaimed the island. In 1815, it came under British protection. Following the Balkan Wars, Italy requested a military base on the island, and it remained under Italian control until World War II. During this period, the Italians constructed buildings on the island and settled fishing families there. After the peace treaty in 1947, Italy returned the island to Albania. Since 1947, the island has been used as a military base and was off-limits to civilians until about 10 years ago. However, the Ministry of Tourism stepped in and lifted the ban. By the time we visited in June 2015, the island had transformed into a magnificent tourist destination. However, accommodation options are still limited, making it ideal for day trips. You can dock your boat at the eastern shore of the island, while the ports in Vlor and Zvernek are also well protected. The owner of hotel established the hotel's Blue Ferry Company, which provides ferry services to the island. Daily shuttle boats operate from Vlor city to the island, and the company also organises weekly boat tours for tourists. By the way, it's impossible not to mention this. You absolutely must try Albanian cuisine at its source. In Vlor city, you can enjoy tavkosi, and for dessert, indulge in tambaloris with delight. If you're lucky and the weather isn't foggy or cloudy, you might even catch a glimpse of Salento on the Italian coast. As I mentioned earlier, part of the island is a national park and a military base. Because of this, you'll encounter quite unique structures and flora. Greek, Roman, and World War II shipwrecks, a rich underwater fauna, steep cliffs, giant caves, especially bunkers and tunnels, breathtaking views, and navigational logs of sailors in the military museum can all be seen here. It's highly recommended to get guidance from a professional diver to make the most of your experience. The island's history is deeply tied to the Cold War era. As you know, the Cold War was a period of political, economic, and technological tension and blockades between the USA and the USSR after World War II. After the Second World War, the frequent threats of war between the Eastern and Western blocs created global tension. During this period, paranoia about nuclear apocalypse spread among people, and nations aligned themselves with one of these blocs. Although the tension never escalated into an actual war, both sides tried to wear each other down in every way. During this period, the USSR decided to use the island as a submarine base. It is said that chemical and biological weapons were secretly stored in certain parts of the island, and even today, gas masks and other equipment are occasionally found scattered around. With every step you take on its trails, you can feel the military power that was once aimed at the Western nations, while also witnessing today's efforts to boost tourism and attract tourists to the island. After leaving Albania's most fascinating island, we continue our journey northward along the Croatian coast. But I can almost hear you asking, doesn't Albania have other islands? Well, it doesn't have many, but let me briefly mention a few. Tongos and Stylos Islands are tiny, rocky islands with sparse vegetation. Zvernek Islands consist of two islands located within the Nata Lagoon, named after a Byzantine monastery built there in the 13th century. Kunes Island is known for its wild nature, hosting 70 bird species and 22 types of reptiles. Samil Islands are also known as Butrint National Park. Franz Josef Island was formed at the mouth of the Buna River and is particularly famous for its herons. Sazan Island is not just an island. It is a paradise where history and nature came together. If you're discovering such hidden paradises, don't forget to subscribe.